Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my final streaming day of the week. It has been a crazy 7 days here on DSP Gaming. And what a 7 days it's been. On today's show, we'll recap all the big changes, all the playthroughs that have ended and begun, and all the improvements to my set. But in addition, today it's about the Game Awards because they took place last night, and I've got a lot to say about who won, who lost, and today I'll be taking your suggestions on what to react to here on the show. So prepare for that. In addition, I've got updates on that Mystery Games Collector's Edition arriving. I've got updates on Wings of Redemption and more. So sit back and relax, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for an awesome week-ending, holiday-themed edition of the Level 1 Podcast. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's the Level 1 Podcast and the final one of the week. Sorry, as I'm trying to get technical stuff. Technical stuff hammered down with all the set changes and the improvements that I've been doing. It would help if I unmuted my mic. Anyway, good morning and welcome to the show. How y'all doing? Today is Friday, the 12th of December, 2025. We've got a heck of a show in store for you today. Notably, talking all about the Game Awards that took place last night. I'll be recapping who won and my thoughts about each one, all right? Also, we got so much to talk about, including updates on the schedule, the set, this game that's en route, Wings of Redemption, and more. I hope that you're excited for a loaded show today. Now, with background music. So I hope that you actually like the chill vibes that we got going here on the show. I'd like your feedback. Do you like the background music? Can you even hear it? Is it annoying? I think it's going to add something. Whenever I'm doing this podcasting or vlogging, to have some background music, I think actually sounds quite good. And if you're wondering, what is this? This is a new addition as part of my Roland Bridgecast, which I added to my setup this week. It is an audio interface through which you can get a subscription for this kind of music for content. So let me know what you think. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I'd like to overall get feedback and, gauge it. Notably, how does it sound, volume-wise? Okay? That's what I like to hear. Volume-wise, is it good or not? Because, last night I actually put it on the daily wrap, and then I played back the daily wrap. I was like, I can't even hear it. So, obviously, it was too low to be effective. Anyway, good stuff. I hope that you guys are liking all the new changes and improvements around here. What a week it's been. 7 straight days I've been here, and man, we have no shortage of developments and updates. Trying out, starting, and dropping Metroid Prime 4 because the game sucked. Finishing up Tormented Souls 2. Coming to the end game of Mario Odyssey 2, where we're going to finish it with one more stream. Finally retiring games such as American Truck Sim and Call of Duty, although there is a possibility I may actually do one more stream of Call of Duty just to test out surround sound, which I now have in these headphones, and more. Plus, on top of all of that, all these, set improvements just this week alone. Okay, I got both monitor arms working, so now when I stream, I'm here for podcasting, but then I can scoot the monitors together and over here. I actually have a new angle for the face cam. As you can see, I changed it to now be lower, so it doesn't look like you're hovering above my forehead anymore. It actually looks like you're looking at me. So we've got an improvement there. All right, we've got lighting improvements where I actually yesterday repositioned the lighting and changed it, so it looks like that's going to be better for face cam as well when I'm playing games. But in addition to that, we've got the new audio interface, which has added so many new things. XLR quality microphone, background music, surround sound in my games, and more. It's just a humongous change this week. And I know, listen, I know this is going to be a situation. It's going to take me a while to adjust. Okay, it is. I'm going to have to learn how to actually, flawlessly and seamlessly use all of this content. All right? I don't know how long it's going to take. It might be weeks, it might be months, it might be 5 minutes. But as you can see, we are still having some issues because, I'm messing up. But it's okay. I swear to you, I will do my best to try to learn on the fly and get this stuff going. So, let's go, because, man, we got a lot to talk about today. I think what we should do, perhaps let's start off with a couple of shout-outs. Let's get these out of the way before we jump into the content for today. Okay, let's go. Let's start. First off, we have a $2 tip. All right? This person says, the happiest that I have seen Wings of Redemption is since he left Lalcow Live was actually when he was on your podcast. He was high energy, seemed like he was enjoying himself. He seems to be surrounding himself now with extremely toxic people, and it's sad. Should we just get this out of the way? Would you guys just like to get this topic out of the way so we can move on to other stuff? Because I know if I don't get it out of the way, I'm going to end up being pestered by this all day long. And I feel like maybe we should just go ahead and address it now. All right, let's do it, okay? So here's the deal. Let's get you all caught up on this topic of Wings of Redemption. So here's what happened. Back in October, I reached out to Wings. I said, hey, will you be on my podcast? It'll be a hangout session. You can ask me whatever you want. We'll have a good time. He came on for 2 hours, to many people's surprise, because I was told by so many people, Wings will never do your show. He never agrees. He never shows up. He's self-destructive. He burns bridges. He's not going to do it. He did it. He showed up, and we had an awesome show. Go check it out. It's archived on this channel. It was 2 hours of fun where we talked about all kinds of stuff from all over the place. And I think that you'll enjoy the conversation if you haven't seen it yet, okay? Now, after that happened, immediately I thought, hey, we should have him back because there was a lot of conversations and things that we were having that didn't finish. A 2-hour conversation, there's only so far you can go, particularly when we're two guys who've been around as long as we have and we've been through what we've been through. We have similar kind of trolling experiences on the internet. I would definitely wanted to have him back as another guest. Hey, let's chill and do it again. But I didn't know how soon to do it. I certainly didn't want to have him back right away. So I said, hey, maybe we'll do like late November. Now, we all know what happened in late November. I ended up having an interaction with Asmongold. I ended up being in an interview with Asmongold. It blew up, and it kind of changed everything. So I had rescheduled with Jordy and said, hey, Jordy, that's Wings of Redemption's real name if you don't know. I said, let's actually have you come on first week of December. Let's have you be maybe the first day of December, right? December 1st. Let's have you on the show. We'll do it. We'll get caught up. We'll have more to talk about now, obviously, because I've had this Asmongold interaction. And we'll get, I heard of all the bad things that had happened to him, that his Battlefield account had been stolen from him by his trolls and stuff. I thought, hey, this will be a good appearance, right? Especially starting off the holidays, right? Have a nice guest on the show. I thought it would be a great positive thing. He said he would do it. Sounds good. The night before, he cancels. He says, I can't sleep. I'm not feeling well. Let's take a rain check. And I responded and said, all right, let's do it next week instead. Same date, same Monday, just a week later. He never responded. Now, he starts saying in his videos and his streams to his audience, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to be on there. Don't worry. We rescheduled. I took a rain check. It's not a big deal. But the thing is, his trolls kind of know how he behaves and saw the fact that he last minute rescheduled as a bad sign. They were actually shocked that he ever appeared on this show. And the fact that he rescheduled last minute for the second appearance meant basically he was never going to show up. They were under that impression. I didn't get that impression because, I don't have that actual experience with wings. So I said to him, all right, let's do it for a week, okay? So a whole week is passing, and I'm DMing him saying, hey, are you coming on the show? He's not responding. So finally, it was last weekend. I took it upon myself when I was in this office on my day off actually doing some rewiring and reworking of the office to just randomly see he was streaming. I was like, oh shit, maybe I could talk to him on his stream quickly, get his attention. So I jumped into his chat that afternoon and I said, hey, what's the deal? Are you coming on the show or not? And basically he says, don't be offended that I'm not responding to your DMs. I don't really respond to people's DMs. I'm just an antisocial guy. But the reason that I don't want to commit to being on your show is my sleep schedule is still screwed up. I'm literally sleeping all day long, waking up in the evening, streaming all evening through until noon the next day and going to sleep in the afternoon. Also, I don't know what I'm doing with my wife this weekend, and that's going to affect my sleep schedule, so I can't commit to Monday, but I'll let you know. Okay, and I told you guys that in a podcast earlier this week. It's up to him. In fact, what I did is I responded to him in a DM, and I said, okay, the ball's in your court. Any day this week, you can come on my show. It's completely in your control. You tell me what day you want to come on the Level 1 podcast, and we'll do it special just for you, for your schedule. I even offered and said, you could come on a night stream. It doesn't even have to be during the afternoon. You could actually come on during a night stream and be a night slot. That would actually fit into your current messed up sleep schedule, okay? No response all week long. So at one point you get a little fed up. This guy keeps saying in his streams and his content, he's got no beef with me. He likes me. He wants to have a conversation. Again, he loved that last appearance. He wants to come on, but then he never actually contacts me to schedule it. So what the hell is going on? So the other night, I saw randomly again, he was broadcasting. I jumped on his stream. I tried to talk with the guy and reason with him and say, I don't even care if you say, no, I just don't want to do it. I just need an answer because my audience wants to know what's going on with you, why you're not showing up. You said you were going to be here. They want another interview. Are you going to do it or not? Even if it's no, I wouldn't be offended. Just say yes or no. To which he responds live on his show, you shouldn't do this publicly. We should be doing this privately in DMs because then my trolls will latch onto this to make content. And I'm like, Jordy, I've been trying to talk to you in DMs for over 2 weeks. You don't respond. This is the only way I can even get you to say something. That's why I'm doing it this way. So here's the thing about Wings that you guys may not know. Unlike me, he has publicly stated he hates being a streamer. He absolutely hates video games, and he wishes he didn't have to stream them, but that's his job. He only does it to make money. He literally has said this over and over again in his content. I've heard the words come out of his mouth. It's not like, oh, I'm watching troll content and he's saying that. This is what he actually says, okay? So I said, all right, how about this? He's sitting on his stream playing Battlefield, and he won't give me an answer. How about this? I'll just contribute, and I'll make it so that he's hitting his goals, and then maybe he doesn't have to worry about playing this stupid game, and we can have the conversation. Even if it's a 5-minute conversation, and he says, no, I don't want to go on your show, at least the conversation's done. So I sent the guy a couple super chats during his stream saying, hey, I'm here. I'm to contribute, to be positive, to help you hit your goals. And I even said to his moderators, what is his goal for this stream? Does he have a goal he's trying to hit? I'll hit his goal for him. I'll help him out. That way, he doesn't have to worry about playing this game he claims he hates playing on stream, and we could chill for a few minutes here and figure this out. His moderators literally played dumb. I'm not kidding. His moderators, Jordy sometimes has a goal. I don't know if he has a goal for this stream. I don't know. They knew. They know what his goal is. They were lying. Okay? His moderators are playing dumb and being stupid for who knows what reason. All right? So after basically trying to get this guy to respond to me during the stream, he starts ignoring me, and one of his moderators actually times me out for 24 hours for simply contributing to his stream and trying to get him to say yes or no about coming on the show. They timed my account out for 24 hours. So I logged into my other account and said, your mod timed me out, to which Jordy laughed and said, oh, pimp, it's only 24 hours. Okay? So after that, I said, I've had enough of this. And I DM'd him one last time and I said, your mods are not there helping you. Your mods are coddling you. Your mods are enabling you. Your mods are making you do and say things. They're constantly goading you. They're actually doing troll memes and things. You don't realize it. They get you to act how they want. You're like a puppet to them. You understand? They're not there to protect you. They're there to basically do things that will harm you, and you just don't realize it. Because no one in their right mind would have someone coming on a stream contributing and time them out for wanting to have a 5-minute conversation about something that you said you're interested in. Okay? So I said, listen, I want a yes or no answer. Give me one. He didn't give me one. He ignored me all week long. Okay? So as of today, I have absolutely no answer from Wings of Redemption whatsoever about if he's going to come on this show. All right? So now I have to say something about the situation, and I'm about to. And then I'm going to move on from it, but I need to say my piece, and then I need to move on. All right? I don't think that Jordy Jordan is a bad person at all. I think he's a person who's a victim of circumstances and himself at the same time, and I think that it's a 50-50 split. I do believe that Wings of Redemption's situation that he's in, being grossly overweight, constantly eating fast food and drinking soda on his streams, saying he hates his life, he hates streaming and all this, and he's trapped in this life. I do believe that a lot of that is extrapolated and basically exponentially increased because of the fact that he has trolling to the level that he has. All right? I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to say that isn't happening. At the same time, what is this music that's playing right now? Hold on a second here. No, that totally distracted me. What is this music? Let's turn on some relaxing music. For goodness sake, I was like, what is this music playing? Right in the middle of me making a point, it's like the most distracting. It sounds like Pokemon theme or something. Okay. It was like a clown music. It was, you're right. Okay. So, at the same time that I absolutely will admit that the trolling is probably some of the reason that Wings is in the situation he's in, the other half is him. It's his own doing. I'm going to give you a comparison. Imagine someone who gets bullied, okay? They go into a cave somewhere, an isolated cave, and they say, man, I really hate this cave. Then all their friends and family go out there. They're like, what are you doing? Why are you in this cave? Get out of the cave. And they say, I will. I hate this cave. So then they go and they buy dynamite. And they start lining the doorway to the cave with dynamite and C4 explosives. And everyone around them is staring at them saying, what are you doing? You said you don't like this cave. You want to get out of the cave. Leave the cave. Do things to get out of the cave. And they say, oh, I will. I swear I will. I really need to. I know I have to. This is best for me. I hate living in a cave. So then they put a device and attach it to all the explosives so they can detonate them. And people are saying, wait, what are you doing? You said you don't like the cave. What are these actions that you're doing that are leading to you being in that cave? And they say, I don't know. I swear it's everyone else's fault. And then they hit the detonator button and the cave walls blow down in front of them. And they're literally trapped in the cave forever. And then as they're stuck in there forever, they look up and they scream, it wasn't my fault. That's the situation Wings is in. All right? Yes, he absolutely has a lot of problems that I think are extrapolated by his trolls. And he is stalked by a hell of a lot of people. All right? At the same time, not everyone hates Wings of Redemption. Not everyone thinks that he's a horrible person. Not everyone wants to roll with the detractor memes and be nasty to this guy. Some people actually want to be nice to this guy. I do. I wanted to kind of be nice and befriend the guy and have him on the show and every once in a while have an interaction. I'm not saying that I needed to have a long-term business transaction with this man. I just wanted to chill with him. I think we have some things in common. I think that interview we did was a good one. I think that we could make great content together over time. But Wings is a victim of his own actions. He builds a prison around himself from which he can never escape. Overeating, bad actions, complaining, whining about going on stream. But then when someone comes to his stream and says, hey, I'll have you stop playing games. I'll actually hit your goal. Let's talk about your next appearance. He ignores it. He blows it off. He tells me to DM him where he's already ignored me for 2 weeks in DMs. And then his moderator times me out. Dude, this is your own creation. I like you. I want to hang out with you and be a positive person in your life, and you have shut me out. That's your doing, not mine. Yours. There's no one to blame in this particular situation but yourself. It's that simple, 100%. I'm sorry. There's no other way to spin this situation. All Wings had to do was have a level of professionalism, a level of respect. He doesn't have that. Instead, he wants to be in his cave forever. Even though he says he doesn't want to be, I'm sorry, I have to believe that that's bullshit. You don't sit there on stream all day, every day, acting a certain way, saying things that you claim, you don't want to say, but you say them anyway, stuff in your face all day, drinking soda all day, unless you actually want to do it. That's the case. You might say, oh, I want to be better, but if you do, its actions speak louder than words. It doesn't matter what you say, it's what you do. His actions have outright said this is what he wants to do for the rest of his life. And it doesn't matter how many people care, how many people try to support him, how many people try to help him. He's never going to change. It has to be him that makes the change and nobody else. No one can help this man but him. He refuses to help himself. So because of that, I'm done. I'm done trying to reach out to this guy, be nice to the guy. I mean, I've done every possible thing I could. I've talked nice about him. I had a great interview with him that tried to help him. I wanted to have him on again right after the Asmongold interview because I figured I could maybe give him a little bit of a positive rub. It would help him out in his content. Maybe he'd get more viewers. It would take some of the pressure off of him. He doesn't want to play ball. He doesn't even want to respond. He can't bother at all to give me a respectable answer about anything. Instead, he wants to ignore me. Well, Jordy, guess what? You like Burger King, right? Well, guess what? Like Burger King, you can have it your way. Because now I'm not going to bother you anymore. And you're going to sit there on your stream, playing the games you claim you hate, stuff in your face, acting like a fool for the rest of your life. No one's going to reach out to you to try to be friendly to you or save you or help you because your actions shut them out. It's not us. It's you. That's all I have to say about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Wings of Redemption will not be appearing on the Level 1 podcast. Under no circumstance. The only way I would ever have him on this show again is if he actually publicly apologized for his actions, the disrespect, the unprofessionalism, the fact that he couldn't even give me the time of day, and the fact that he kept publicly saying in his content that he wanted to be on my show and then acted otherwise. If he publicly apologizes for that and says he will change his ways and then actually acts differently, again, actions speak louder than words, then maybe I'll consider having him on the show again. But as of now, Wings of Redemption is banned from my podcast and will not be appearing ever again. Okay, so that's that. I got it out of the way. I've said my piece. We can now move on with the show to positive content because I'm tired of this nonsense. Okay? Okay, let's do some shout outs because as I was talking about that, a whole bunch of contributions actually came in. Let's see here. So we start off today. Well, we were doing the shout out for the tip, and then a whole bunch of YouTube contributions came in. We start with Vassild with a 1313 super chat. He says, I love the chill beats. Me too, until it started playing the clown music. Like, that was pretty ridiculous, okay? And I was like, what the hell is this? So, yeah, let me see here. Because now what is this music it's playing? Organ low calm hymns? I have it set to chill hip hop, and it's playing organ low calm hymns. See how this goes. Okay. Anyway. All right. So, thank you, Vassild, for the first super chat of the day, 1313. I agree. I think with this music, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to tweak it, right? We are. We're going to have to tweak it. We're going to have to figure this out and get it working. And I think it's going to take a while to tweak it and get it working. But we will eventually. I feel like we will. It's going to take some work. So sorry that some of the music is a little weird, okay? What I can actually do, we can actually find the music that we like, and I can add it. I can favorite those songs, and I can add playlists that we can play. Maybe that's something that we will do, okay? Anyway, thank you, Vassal, for the first super chat. Orcs or Dorks, 54 months as a member. Says DSP Hype. Thank you, Orcs or Dorks. Thank you so much for being a longtime supporter of the channel. Ghost of Phillips Handcart did a $2 super chat and says, acknowledge me, father, acknowledge me. Okay, I'm acknowledging you. You're an idiot. Thanks for $2. Continuing on. Most Tasteless resubscribe to the channel. So thank you very much. Most Tasteless for the first sub of the day. It's a resub. Vassal then did a $31.13 super chat and says, wings never changes. No, I'm starting to see that. Because honestly, when I have tried to have interactions with Wings over the years, I always get hit with the same response. Why are you bothering? Don't you know how Wings is? Don't you understand that he's a self-destructive guy? That every single person in his life who has actually tried to help him gets pushed away, gets mistreated. It's him. Yes, there are things bad that happen to him, but his behavior is his own, and his behavior never changes. How can someone who says they want to actively be healthy and lose weight sit there on a stream and eat fast food all day, every day? How could someone who says that they want to be friendly and have friends and everything then mistreat people constantly? Is it opposite day? Do you think that doing the opposite of what you think is right is going to improve your life? Of course not. So, what can you do to this guy? And now, I hate to say it, when you talk about this situation and you hear about guys like his former friend Woody's Gamertag, who, had him on painkiller already and helped this guy out over the years, supposedly. And you're like, well, they're not friends anymore. Probably a good reason why. Probably this guy had enough. Now, that guy's dealt with Wings of Redemption for how many years as a friend and then finally said enough and cut him off, right? I dealt with Wings of Redemption for 2 months and I've had enough. I'm sorry, I'm a 43-year-old adult. I'm very busy. As you can see, I'm very busy. I've got things going on in my life, with my business, with my personal life. I'm a busy dude. I don't have time to babysit another content creator who can't act like a mature adult and instead wants to play games, all right? So I'm already done. I'm tapping out. 2 months in, I can imagine what guys like Woody have been through over the years dealing with this guy, okay? I'm looking, someone said there's a troll. I don't know. Oh, I see you. Here you go. Got it. Thank you for telling me. Okay, continuing on. Let's see. Mr. Chicago did a $5 tip asking ridiculously personal stuff that has nothing to do with anything that should ever be discussed on a stream. Thanks for $5. Continuing on. So someone here named Redface. I have no idea if this is actually a Wings of Redemption moderator or not. He says, I timed you out for spamming. There was no spamming that took place. You sent numerous messages saying the same thing after we told you to stop. That didn't happen. It was me trying to have a conversation with Wings, and it was not spamming whatsoever. And to call me dumb after I apologize low. When did you apologize? When did you apologize? What are you even talking about? There was no apology. I was timed out. I wasn't even able to talk. I came back with another account, and no one talked to me except, what was his name? Mario, I think his name was. And he was very nice. He was like, I would never time you out. I'm sorry that happened. I would let you talk to Wings. You were nowhere to be found. You ran for the hills. So nice try. You're the one who did the bad act. You're the one who now made Wings look bad, and now he takes the flack for you and your horrible actions. I want you to think about that. You're a moderator. You're supposed to be responsible for behavior, and I get it. I get moderators that get overzealous too, and I have words with them too. You're not doing Wings any favors acting like that. All you're doing is you're coddling the guy and you're allowing him to self-enable himself to fail. Don't you think that instead of having this right now that we're talking about on my stream, it would have been better to just either have a yes or no answer about the appearance, to have him either come on or just say, no, I'm not interested, instead of this. But you didn't want that. Instead, you time me out because you're a moron. I mean, that's it. There's nothing else to say. Okay. Mozzie did a $2 super chat, says, you're on fire today. I'm not on fire. I'm just being matter-of-fact about stuff. Okay? So, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not one for drama. I'm tired of this shit. I thought that it was a nice thing that Wings was on my show. Everyone agreed that having him on the show was a good thing. I want him back, but not anymore. There's just no point anymore, you know? I'm just done with it. There's no point in wasting my time. I have way more important things to do with my time than try to treat a grown man like a child and coddle him and, oh, maybe he'll respond. Maybe he'll grace me with an answer. I don't care. I got so much on my plate right now. So many things I'm juggling. Let's move on to another topic. Okay? Cool. Someone tipped $2 asking, do you think I'll continue to try to get others for interviews or to be interviewed? Depends on the situation. Like, if there's someone who I think that would be a fascinating interview, I would do it. Seriously, like, there's people out there who I know people want me to talk to, but that's on them if they ever want to, you know, appear on the show. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple, okay? So, I don't know. I'm not going to say no, I will absolutely never have an interview ever again. At the same time, I just don't see the point in going crazy over it when I'm so busy with other shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very busy right now juggling games, covering topics. I don't think that it's that big of a deal to have guests on the show all the time. I think it's nice when we do. And like I said, with anything, if I have a guest on the show, I don't want it to be about drama. I want it to be a fun appearance where we could talk about other things. We could talk about gaming. We could talk about life as streamers or content creators or whatever it is. Just not drama. I'm tired of the drama. Yet, it seems like involving yourself with certain people gets you involved in drama anyway that you don't want. I didn't create this drama whatsoever. It was created by him, by his unprofessionalism, his inability to give a simple yes or no answer like an adult. So, I'm done playing. All right? I'm done. I'm off the schoolyard. I'm here acting, you know, mature and making content now. Okay? Cool. All right. I think we've caught up on all the contributions so far. There you go. All right. Oh, wait. Were there, hold on. I missed, shit. I missed kicks, and they're all gone. So what I need to do now is go over to my kick, dashboard, and that should allow me to see. Okay, here we go. That's who it was. It was Vasil. Was there anyone else? Wait. No, that was yesterday. Okay, so Vasil did a 500 kick and said, DSP is spitting straight facts. Thank you to Vasil for that. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, one other thing just to get drama out of the way. This way we can not talk about drama and we can have more interesting topics today because I'm just not one for it. It's been confirmed that robust organic supporter was also Iron Chef Sakai /220, and I just permanently banned them, and they're not coming back. Of course, you know they'll come back with another name, and I can't stop them from coming back, but they just basically confirmed it was them, and I got rid of them, so we don't have to bother with their bullshit anymore. Okay. Well, I guess for the next 5 minutes till they make their next sock account. You know, nothing I can do about that. All right. So, continuing on, now that that's out of the way, thankfully. I do have an update for everyone on that game that is supposedly en route to me. Let me get your memories jogged on this topic because I know this one I haven't talked about for a bit. So, FYI, I was contacted by a game developer / publisher stating that they wanted to send me the collector's edition of a game that came out earlier this year that I had talked about on a stream, I had actually watched a trailer for the game. I talked about being interested in checking it out, and then I never got around to playing it. So they offered to send me the collector's edition of the game because, number one, they were interested in seeing me honestly try the game and give feedback. But number two, they were actually releasing like a new DLC soon, and they wanted this to be kind of a way to kind of hype up the upcoming release of the DLC. All right? I said, that sounds awesome. Now, I confirmed with them, if I play their game, I can be honest about it. And they said, yes, in fact, we want you to be honest about it. If you play it and you don't like it, be honest. Say you don't. All right, fine. Then I'll accept this. So they sent me this collector's edition of the game. It was supposed to arrive the middle of this last week. And I had it in my schedule that I was going to do an unboxing and we were going to check out the game together and see if it was any good, see if I actually wanted to play it as a playthrough, maybe eventually do the DLC and all of that, right? So I'm like, cool. So what happened? Well, I still don't have it, right? What ended up happening was this thing was shipped to me and was lost in shipping. It actually said when I was checking the shipping steps during the week, due to a mechanical error, your shipment's been misplaced and we'll have an updated delivery date for you as soon as we can. And it was like missing for like 3 days, okay? So on a whim, I actually checked it last night thinking, gee, it's probably they're going to say shipment delayed or canceled or whatever. Actually, it's moving again. From what the shipment company is saying, all right, it should arrive next week, but they won't actually like guarantee a date, but they're hoping it'll be here next week. So here's the thing. Rather than waste time and be like, hey, you know, this is when it's coming and we're going to plan. Let's just play it by ear. Because who knows what's going to happen, right? Seriously, who knows what the hell is going to happen? Let's just let it roll and see what happens. And hey, if it shows up, great, and then maybe we'll do a one-off stream and we'll check out the game. If it never shows up, then we also, won't even bother talking about it again. But I just wanted to give you that update. It looks like it is coming. I just don't know when, and I don't know how it's going to go. If it ever shows up, is it... here's the funny part. Imagine if it shows up and the box is, like, completely smashed into pieces and, like, destroyed. Because it could be. If it was mechanical error lost for 2-3 days... it might be, like, completely demolished, yet they're still going to deliver it, you know? Like, what the hell? So we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. But should have more information about this next week when I come back from my break. We'll see. I'll let you know if I get updates or not. In fact, what the hell? Let me do one final... I didn't check it this morning. Let me see if there's been an update. Might as well do it live, right? Yeah, see, they haven't updated it in a day now, and basically it was saying it's supposed to come next week, but they're not giving me like a solid, it'll be here then by then, you know what I'm saying? So, I'll let you know if there's any updates, okay? Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, so, we gotten through the nonsense. Now we can talk about what everyone wants to hear about, the Game Awards, right? Before we get there, some quick updates on everything going on with me, with the schedule and the like. Next week is going to be a pretty fun week. Let's take a quick look. Let's preview the schedule. Hold on one second. So that you guys know what's going on next week. Okay? So, here's what we got going on when I come back from my break, which will be on Sunday, because I'm off from streaming tomorrow. First of all, today, right after the Level 1 podcast ends, we continue on now with Arc Raiders with surround sound on my headphones for the first time ever. This should be pretty neat. I'm excited to see how this goes. I think it'll be a fun one. So, Arc Raiders, and then after that, tonight, we're actually doing Power Wash Simulator 2 for the first time. We tried it out last night for an hour. It went really well. It was chill fun. We had the relaxing music playing while I played, and people really seemed to like it. So tonight, late night chill with Phil, Friday night chill, I guess you could call it, Power Wash Simulator 2. Bring all of your topics that you want to talk about, all right? Because it's going to be a very interactive stream where we're going to be hanging out and discussing whatever while I'm cleaning things with a power washer and listening to chill music, okay? So that's tonight's late stream. I'm off from streaming tomorrow. When I return on Sunday, there'll be a Level 1 podcast followed by Pokemon Legends ZA and its DLC continuing. We did a major stream of it yesterday. We'll do more on Sunday. Sunday night, we're going to finish Super Mario Galaxy 2. So finally, that one will be completed and out of the rotation. Monday's a big day. On Monday, I am going to bring back Claire Obscure Expedition 33. For the first time since the spring, I'm going to attempt to play Act 3, which is the hardest part of the game. It probably will be tough because I got to get back in line with playing the game and relearn everything from the ground up. But since it won Game of the Year, I'm hoping maybe there'll be some hype behind it. Maybe some extra people will show up to watch me play it rather than just the core audience. Hopefully, we will get some people to come hang out for Expedition 33 on Monday. It's very much a test. I don't know if it will really work or not. I do hope people will come by and engage and support with it because I'd like to do Act 3. But I won't know until we give it a shot, okay? I'm actually being told they also had an update and there's new content in the game. So there you go. We'll explore it all on Monday together. Monday night, we're going to try out this new game, Routine. We played it for about an hour last night. My audio was off. It's my fault. I take the blame for that. Basically, this game, Routine, is a game where it's set in space. It's set in the future. You're on the moon, and everyone seems to have disappeared or died, and you're trying to figure out what happened to them and how to survive. It's very fascinating so far. I'm excited to play more of it. That's going to be Monday night. We'll give it a go. And then on Tuesday, we will have a podcast. We'll have our next Arc Raiders stream. And on Tuesday night, the return of Mega Bonk. I like Mega Bonk a lot. The more I play it, the more it grows on me. I can't wait to play more Mega Bonk this coming Tuesday. All right? All right. So that's the schedule. I hope that sounds good to everyone. I'm excited for next week. Next week will be a 6-day streaming week, okay? Just so everybody knows. 6 days of streaming. And it'll be a good variety of content. Basically, all of those games, 6+ games. And again, if we actually get the game to arrive, this collector's edition, we'll probably do an unboxing and maybe try that game out too. So next week will be loaded. Also, coming up, just so everyone knows, my annual Christmas Marathon event is getting closer. It's going to take place this year on Tuesday, December 23rd. And if you haven't yet, nominate games for me to play during that event. You can do so by typing !Christmas into the chat right now. Or if you're watching on demand, if you take a look at the posts tab of my main channel, DSP Gaming on YouTube, and you scroll to the beginning of the month, you can find the post where you nominate games. Either nominate or vote up someone else's nominations. Next week, I'll be taking a look at all of your nominations, and we'll be actually figuring out what games I'll be playing during the Christmas Marathon, okay? So on Tuesday the 23rd, I'll be dressed up in holiday attire all day long and probably swapping out different ugly Christmas sweaters. I'll be drinking booze. I actually bought special Christmas-themed booze to drink specifically during that event, which I'm excited for. There's going to be food of some sort. I just don't know what. I'll probably order out. Sometimes I even have like a festive Christmas snack that's themed to Christmas. It's a really good time. It's a festive time. Everyone usually has a great time during my Christmas marathon. I hope that you'll come by and chill with me on that day. Now, I will be here on Christmas Eve, which is actually Wednesday the 24th, for one stream. It's going to be very similar to what we did on Thanksgiving, where I'll do one stream. I don't know if it'll just be chill with Phil. I don't know if we'll actually pick a game to play, but we will be hanging out that day for one stream. But I'll be off from streaming on that night, so no stream on Christmas Eve that evening, no streams on Christmas Day, and also no streams on Friday the 26th. I'm taking basically 2.5 days off to spend time with my wife, all right? I'll be coming back on Saturday the 27th, and that'll be a full streaming week for me to start the new year right. Okay, and by the way, around that time is when I'm going to start working on my year-end series, where I do the top 10 most disappointing games of the year, the best games of the year, and of course, this year, you guys actually wanted me to do a special countdown because I did a whole year of DSP Trizits. You guys said to do like the top 10 DSP Trizits of the year, so I'll probably do that too. So we're going to have like a night or nights of streams where we're going to hang out and there's going to be cool countdowns and everything. I'm very excited for that. So I hope that you'll join me for that. Again, either last week of December or first week of January. I'll let you know as the dates approach, okay? Fair enough? All right, folks, so here's the deal. Let's talk about the Game Awards. Let's get to it for the rest of the show, all right? So, let's take a look at the Game Awards winner, shall we? Let's do it right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, here are all the winners of the Game Awards 2025. First of all, let's take a look at certain categories here, like Best Esports Team. Who cares? How about Best Esports Athlete? Who cares? Because here's the thing about the Game Awards, all right? They're the Game Awards. Game Awards. Not the Gamer Awards. It's the Game Award. You're supposed to be awarding the best games of the year and or people who contributed to the games. Not the people who play the games, the people who made the games. Get it? There's a difference. Somehow the Game Awards lost that in translation. I don't know how, but who gives a shit? Who's the best esports team? Who's the best esports athlete? Here, I'll tell you. You want to know who the best one is? The ones who win. Because they're the best in competition and they get rewarded with trophies and money and sponsorships. They don't need an award at the Game Awards. These are completely empty, worthless categories. They shouldn't be at the Game Awards whatsoever. I don't know why they bother with those. Okay? How about Content Creator of the Year? Oh, well, thank goodness that Moist Critical, actually, I think what he should have won was award for most ridiculously photoshopped photo I've ever seen of a person on the internet. Look at this picture. Oh my God. Take a look at his face. He looks like a cartoon character. He looks like an anime character with how bad that was photoshopped and edited. Airbrushed to shit. Oh my God. Anyway, no, Content Creator of the Year. Obviously this is all bullshit because we all know that Burnt Peanut is the best content creator of all time. And look at him, right? This is just such a meaningful award show. Most anticipated game. Gee, I wonder possibly what game could have been picked as the most anticipated game coming out next year. I never would have thought it would have been the same game that's been the most anticipated game for like 10 years in a row. Right? Best Adaptation. The reward for Best Adaptation went to the TV show that lost more than half of its audience going from season 1 to season 2 and was universally panned and made fun of with memes on the internet for how bad the acting was. That's the Best Adaptation. Okay. Best Multiplayer. Oh, wait, we're actually rewarding games now? Oh, I guess actually now we're actually talking about games. That's good, I guess, at a Game Awards show. So out of Best Multiplayer, you had Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, which I've never heard of, and Split Fiction. Arc Raiders won. Well, I'm just getting into Arc Raiders, okay? So I can't really speak to this because I've only had, 4 or 5 hours experience with Arc Raiders. I'll say this. It's growing on me. Every time I play Arc Raiders, I'm having a better experience. And the fact that now I'm having the interactions with people with a microphone, proximity chat, and everything, I think it is actually getting better. Is it necessarily, though, like a full-fledged multiplayer game? Like, when you think of, like, Night Rain, okay, it's 3-player co-op multiplayer, but it could be played solo, but it's meant to be played multiplayer, right? Split Fiction is meant to be a 2-player at all times co-op game. But Arc Raiders, you could literally play it and have an entire drop and never interact with a human. So is it multiplayer then? There are other people playing in it, but I don't necessarily see it as like a major multiplayer game. An extraction shooter as a major multiplayer? I don't know. If you were to ask me out of all these games, what's the most multiplayer of them all, it's Battlefield 6. Like, that's a game, it is 100% team-based. You need to work with the team to actually succeed. And the entire gameplay mechanics are based around it. You could play it solo and you're probably going to fail, right? It's the multiplayer aspect that makes it a good game. My pick probably would have been Battlefield 6 for best multiplayer. And by the way, I'm not shit-talking Arc Raiders. Like, I like Arc Raiders. But I just don't see it as like, oh, multiplayer heavy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. Best sports and racing game. So we had EA Sports, Football Club, F1 25, Mario Kart World, Rematch, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and they gave it to Mario Kart World. Well, that's just wrong. I mean, if you just look at it on paper, Mario Kart World is actually arguably one of the worst Mario Karts ever made. It was insanely highly criticized this year to the point where Nintendo had to redesign it because people complained about it so much. It had an insane player fall off. Should I keep going? Why would that be the best sports and racing game of the year? Out of all 5 of those games, it's literally the most heavily criticized on the internet for not being good enough. It's actually the first Mario Kart that cost $70, and everyone complained about that. It had open world promises, and the promises all fell through, and none of them were fulfilled. Like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry, I gotta disagree with that one. That sounds like a bunch of malarkey to me. Best sim and strategy game. Final Fantasy Tactics Evolution Chronicles won this. That's interesting. Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civ 7, Tempest Rising, The Altars, and 2 Point Museum. The only thing I will say about this one, this is a little bullshit, all right? And the reason that I say it's a little bullshit is it's a re-release. Like, Final Fantasy Tactics Evolution Chronicles is not a new game. It's literally Final Fantasy Tactics, but they redid it for a modern audience with slightly tweaked interfaces, better graphics, but it's a game from the PS1 era. So, if anything, if you're telling me that that's the best sim and strategy game of 2025, that says something pretty negative about all the actually new games to the right. That all of those were overtaken by an old game is pretty crazy, right? Listen, I like Final Fantasy Tactics. I love it. I'm sad that I didn't get to play it this year. So, I'm not going to complain about this choice, but it's a little weird to me. Best family game. We had Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction. See, I didn't play these Lego games, so I don't know if they're good or not. Like, is Donkey Kong Bonanza is a family game? Is it? What's family about it? It's a single-player game. Is there even a multiplayer component to Donkey Kong Bonanza? So how do you play it with your family? Like, every other one of those games is co-op, right? I guess because it's meant for kids. See, here's the thing. Someone just says, well, maybe they mean family-friendly. Yeah, but that's not what the category says. It's not best family-friendly. It's best family. If you can't even play the game with your family, how is it a best family game? I'm kind of lost, right? Okay. Best fighting game. Well, out of all the games that came out in 2025, honestly, right, the only one that was genuinely like a new full-fledged fighting game is Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I mean, Capcom Fighting Collection is just a retro collection. So is the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Virtua Fighter 5 is an ancient game that they keep re-releasing. Now, you might say, what about 2XKO? I guess you can argue it's not finished, right? Like, what they've released, it's a free-to-play game, and what they've released isn't like a full-fledged game. It's very limited character selection. So, yeah, out of all these, there was one actual fully featured fighting game that came out this year, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Personally, I hated it. I played the I definitely played whatchamacallit, the demo, the beta, and I didn't like it. You know, I just didn't like it at all, so. Okay? Best RPG. Did we really think that anything else was going to win? And by the way, this is hilarious. Avowed and The Outer Worlds 2 were nominated for Best RPG? Did anyone actually play them? How on earth did they get nominated? I feel like this is games journalists only played 5 RPGs this year, so these 2 had to get in, but they're not great games at all. Avowed has one of the worst plots ever made, super boring game, and Outer Worlds 2 literally is Outer Worlds 1 again. So, if you were to ask me, definitely would be between the middle 3. A lot of people had issue with this selection and said they think that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 actually is considered a better RPG than Clair Obscur. I just think that in the modern day, a lot of people have issue with classic turn-based RPGs. They don't like, they're old, they're dated, they're played out. I loved Clair Obscur, so I'm not going to argue with that one. Best Action Adventure, Hollow Knight Silk Song. Okay, so we had Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotei, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Split Fiction. What did I tell you about Indiana Jones? When Indiana Jones came out, people liked it. But it's a year later. If you remember, it came out in mid to late December. Therefore, it didn't make the cut for the Game Awards last year. Now, it's a year later. No one is thinking about Indiana Jones or talking about it because it's too late. For that game to actually win an award, it had to be around award season or right before. It can't be right after. No one's going to remember this a year later. This is a huge flaw with the Game Awards. The fact that they cut off in early December and any games for the rest of the year just get forgotten and never win anything. Right? I think that's pretty ridiculous. So, if you were to ask me out of all of these games, what's my favorite? Yeah, Hollow Knight Silk Song was my favorite. So, I guess I agree with this one. Best action game. I don't know the difference between action, adventure, and action. Hades 2 is action. I would say Hades 2 is a roguelike RPG. I wouldn't even say that it's an action game. But, wait. Battlefield 6 is an action game? It's a first-person shooter. It's its own category. Why do they have it as action game? These awards are something else. Do they even have a best first-person shooter category? No. So they have a best RPG, best fighting, best racing and sports, but they don't have a best FPS category. Best VR and AR went to the Midnight Walk. Here's the best part about this. I don't know about any of these games whatsoever. I say this every year about VR games. They're just not killer apps. There may be some good ones, okay? But sadly, they just don't get any kind of hype or nomination or anything behind them. Have you ever heard of a year where someone was like, man, that VR game was a Game of the Year contender and it's a must-play, and if you missed it, you missed one of the best games of the year? Has that ever happened at all, besides maybe the one year when people said something about that, like with Half-Life Alyx? Outside of that, these games, they exist, but they're just not for the masses. No one talks about them, and they get swept right under the rug. I don't know about any of these games. I also don't care. You know, like VR is such a ridiculous kind of flash-in-the-pan thing that isn't a focus anymore. Because people ask me all the time, well, Phil, now you've got the setup. You got the dual monitors, you got the space. Will you get VR? Which I say, no. I'm still not interested in it because I don't think anyone cares. I really don't see the popularity there. No one really cares that much about it, so. Okay. Best mobile game? Well, the thing is, I hadn't played any of these games whatsoever. You guys had told me about this one. So we had looked into it, and I was like, it's a game where anime girls are racing horses. That's fascinating. So I really can't attest to any of this. I haven't played any of these, so really no comment on that. Best debut indie game? Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Well, there was Blueprints, Despalote, and Dispatch. You know what's funny? Any other year, I feel like a game like Blueprints or Dispatch, I don't know what the hell Despalote is, but I feel like other years, those games absolutely would have won a ton of awards, but this was just a bad year because Clair Obscur came out this year. And that game just kind of like really overshined everything else with this level of quality, content, you know, from a small indie studio. It was just, I really feel like Blueprints and Dispatch both should have gotten a big feature at the Game Awards, but you notice they've gotten like nothing. It kind of sucks that they were just completely overshadowed. But, I mean, I'm not going to argue with this one either. Best independent... Wait a minute. Oh, best debut indie game, best independent game overall. So they won that too. Did they really? Hold on. Do we need these two categories at all? Can we just have one? What's the point of having two categories? This is stupid. There's no reason for there to be two categories for that. Best community support. Recognizing the game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity. Oh, I'm not aware about these games and how much they follow what the community wants. I guess Baldur's Gate 3 listened and did a bunch of updates. Like for me, wouldn't this have just been No Man's Sky? Because this is the game that every single year gets a giant free update. And to this day, it's a decade later, the guy is still making free content for his game and has changed it from the ground up completely. But that's just my take, I guess. I don't know actually what Larian did for Baldur's Gate 3 this year. Best ongoing. Okay, well, there you go. Going in line with what I just said, they gave it to No Man's Sky. I would agree that definitely makes sense, okay? Games for impact. Now, excuse me. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Okay? First of all, when you take a look at these games, all right? Consume Me. Did anyone ever hear that one? Despelote. Did you ever play or hear that one? Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. Did you play or hear that one? If you didn't, consider yourself lucky. Because I played the first half of it. It was one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. And I didn't play the second half of it because the first half was so bad. Okay? It was written basically by people who aren't human. I'm serious. Like, the way that they wrote the characters was like they've never actually had interaction with humans before. And this was their first awkward attempt to pretend like they had some kind of social experiences in their life. It was awful. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. And it wasn't representative of what they were actually trying it to be. It was garbage, okay? I did play South of Midnight for 3 hours. And to be honest with you, they're saying a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message, okay? When I played South of Midnight, the game's basically a throwback to PlayStation 2 platformers. It plays similar to games like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, stuff like that. There's big platforming segments and challenges, there's collectibles, and there's combat segments, okay? I have absolutely no idea at all what the social message of the game is, because there was none. At least in the first 3 hours. Maybe because I never played it past the 3 hours, I don't know what the message was. Maybe there was one in there and I just never got to it. Unfortunately, here's what happened. I was actually enjoying myself playing the game, and my entire audience said to me while I was playing, "This game's woke, stop playing it." And I said, wait, it's woke? Why? I mean, it's set in the South of the United States. I think it's Louisiana is where it's supposed to be set. So you got things like the New Orleans drawl is being used in the dialogue, and it has that style of visual design and music, you know, the bayou and stuff like that. I thought it was swell. I actually thought it was unique and interesting. I liked it. I don't know what that has to do with Games for Impact. I don't know what social message that is, but I was enjoying it. But everyone literally came by my stream and said, "This game is woke. Stop playing it." Okay? So I did. Like, I wasn't going to play a game that people didn't want. But to this day, I scratch my head wondering what was woke about it. Well, it won the Games for Impact award at the Game Awards, all right? Why? What impact did it have? What social message did it push? That there's black people? I knew that already. I'm aware that there's a deep South in the U.S. and that they have that culture. Like, this game, what's the social message? What was the impact? I'm lost. Wow. Can someone explain it? Because the protagonist is black, the game has social impact. Like we don't know that black people exist or something. They do. They're normal people like you and me every day. Are you literally giving the game an award because it has a black female protagonist? Is literally that's what you've done. You just said, "Oh, here's an award." I don't get it. If someone can explain it to me, I'd love to hear it, but I was already aware that there were African Americans. I have no problem with that. In fact, I'm friendly with many of them. I've never had an issue with that. I'm not a guy who thinks about that kind of shit. You know, like, why are you awarding this game an award because there's a black protagonist? I'm lost. Anyway, let's continue. By the way, I didn't play Wander Stop. I know nothing about it, so I can't comment on that one. Okay, continuing on. Innovation and accessibility. This, I don't know what accessible features were in these games. So I can't really speak to this at all, but if Doom the Dark Ages was accessible, great, I guess. I want more accessibility in games. I'm all for it. I want more games to be recognized for putting the effort in to put in accessibility features, because games should be for everyone. All right? I truly believe that. If you have a disability, you should be able to play and enjoy a video game just like anybody else. No one should be, you know, there's obviously a few exceptions. Like, people might say things like such as, well, what about games that you're supposed to get good to play them, like Dark Souls, right? Or what about a multiplayer game? What if you make it so easy to play with accessibility that now someone could use the accessibility features to win tournaments and stuff? That's not what we're talking about here, and obviously those are topics for another moment. But in general, I'm for accessibility in video games. I want more of it. If these games had it, great. Good on Doom for winning the award, but I just don't know what the features were, okay? Okay. Best performance. The funny part about this was how many people were nominated for Expedition 33. Okay, you had Ben Starr as well as Charlie Cox, and then also Jennifer English, all nominated for Expedition 33. And then Erika Ishii for Ghost of Yote. I mean, just look at her picture. Look at her face. Her face is so arrogant with the way that she even poses for her picture. Like, I'm better than you. I'm special. I'm different. Kanatsu Kato for Silent Hill F. And Troy Baker, who, of course, played Indiana Jones in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I think that all of the performances in Expedition 33 were outstanding. I think that her performance was great, and his performance was great. I didn't play Ghost of Yote, so I literally can't criticize that performance. But, like, I think it could have literally gone to, like, anyone in any of the games I play. They all were outstanding. So, there you go. Let's see. Best audio design went to Battlefield 6, and I'm guessing that's because of, like, the surround sound effects, sounding like a real battlefield. Fair enough, I guess. I'm not a professional of sound design. I can't really criticize that. Best score in music, that had to go to Expedition 33, and it did. Lorien Testard for Expedition 33, not shocking. Some of the most amazing original pieces of music made for a video game in a very, very long time. Pretty darn cool. All right. Best art direction also went to Expedition 33. Again, I feel like this was a year that if Expedition 33 had come out a different year, a lot of these games would have won awards. Like, I could see best art direction actually going to Death Stranding or Silksong if Expedition 33 hadn't been this year. So it's kind of a shame, because I feel like a lot of games got overshadowed that definitely deserved awards. Like, did Silksong win a single thing? It won Best Action Adventure. But another year, it totally would have won multiple awards, you know? Best Narrative. Expedition 33. Best Game Direction. Oh, Expedition 33. Game of the Year. I wonder what could have possibly won this. Okay? So, as I've said, the Game Awards are a non-entity. I don't understand why anyone cares about them. They don't mean anything. If you don't like RPGs, then this Game Awards was completely worthless to you because you didn't play Expedition 33. And it didn't really talk about many other games at all, did they? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all a bunch of journalists voting. And this year, to be honest, I do agree that Expedition 33 was an absolutely outstanding game. It's definitely in my running for Game of the Year. It really is. And I can't wait to go back to it next week with all of you and enjoy Act 3. Hopefully we can do that finally. But did you really get anything out of sitting there for 3 hours watching this? Or do you feel like you wasted 3 hours of your time? Because that's why I don't watch it. I can literally just do this the next day, give you my takes, and save time. And not feel like I just wasted an entire night watching this crap. Okay? Okay. So anyway, those are my takes. I'm curious on what you guys have to say about it. The thing is, we're almost out of time. I do want to react to one thing on today's podcast, and maybe what we'll do is we'll save a whole bunch of reacting for Sunday, because I know that there was a ton, and I mean a ton, of gameplay trailers, announcements, release dates that were given, and I'm thinking maybe we should do that all on Sunday. Like, Sunday can be the big reacting roundup, okay? All right. Okay. I will. Okay. Save all of your suggestions for reacting until Sunday, okay? Because if you give it to me now, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. Come back on Sunday for the podcast, and we'll do a big reacting show on Sunday, okay? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to react to the Street Fighter trailer, and then we're just going to do Q&A till the end of the show, okay? Let's go. Ready? I'm excited for this one. I hope that you are too. The Street Fighter trailer. Hoo boy. All right. Let's pause the music for this one. Let's go. All right. I am waited heated anticipation. I knew this came out yesterday. I have not seen this at all. I swear to God, I have not seen this. I saved this for an honest reaction on today's podcast. It's about a minute long. Let's go. Let's open up Q&A, shall we? If you want to talk with me, just tag me in the chat, all right? And okay. I'm being told that the red face that was in YouTube chat was a fake. Okay. I believe you. I don't really care. We're done talking about that drama nonsense, and I've already said my piece, so that's fine. No worries there. We've already moved on. Okay. Yeah, they didn't show Blanca. That's true. It looks like they showed pretty much everyone but Blanca there, but no Blanca, interesting enough. And that's Jason Momoa, who probably, if you think about it, probably the biggest star power in the movie, right, is Jason Momoa. So it's kind of weird that they didn't show Blanca. Yes, Jason Momoa is playing Blanca. That's correct. James, rewind the show to the beginning of the show, and that was already answered in a big topic, so I'm not going to reiterate the answer to that. Okay. There are images out of Blanca? Are there? I'll have to look into that. Am I mad that Blanca wasn't in the trailer because he's my main? No, it's because he's the most outlandish character out of all of them. So if you want to see one character to see who he is or how he's going to be represented in the movie, you want to see Blanca, and I think they're purposefully hiding Blanca for a reason. I don't know who Andrew Schultz even is. Yako Mighty says, what do you think of Andrew Schultz as Dan Hibiki? I don't even know who that is. Who's Andrew Schultz? What roles has he had before? Is he even Asian? Because Dan's Asian. They know that, right? They play the games, correct? Am I happy Honda's in the movie? I mean, I'm happy the original cast of Street Fighter 2 is in the movie. You know what's weird is They keep calling these movies Street Fighter. It's Street Fighter 2. If it were Street Fighter, it would just be Ken and Ryu fighting against those other crappy characters from Street Fighter 1 that no one remembers, and the final fight would be against Sagat. It's Street Fighter 2. Why don't they just call it that? I don't know. He's a podcaster in the Joe Rogan verse? Oh, I definitely wouldn't know anything about that. Who has more star power, Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns? Neither. Neither of them have star power in a movie because they're not actors. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're no Rock, they're no John Cena. They don't really have pull, quite frankly. That's what I'm saying. Like, the biggest actor in that movie is Jason Momoa, hands down. He's the one everyone knows from big time, action movies. Am I going to play Terminator 2D No Fate? Not right now. If you guys want to see me try it later, we could, but you saw my lineup for next week. We got a lot of games next week and the possibility of another one if this one gets delivered. So no, I'm not going to be playing Terminator right now. Out of all the new purchases for my setup, what am I enjoying the most? Man. Well, first off, obviously having an OLED monitor is like game changing. The thing has insane quality, like absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous colors.
Stolen credit card.
Thank you, Tim. Gorgeous colors, amazing response time, amazing frame rate. It's absolutely gorgeous, okay? But the other thing that's really cool, this monitor being maneuverable, the fact that I can have it here for podcasting and then I can move it over and I can actually see your chats while I'm playing the game is a huge improvement. But then on top of that, now there's the Roland Bridgecast, which by the way, speak of the devil, which is having background music in all of my content, which is allowing me to have better quality mic, right? To have surround sound in video games for the first time in many, many years. All these things are huge improvements. I don't think there's one thing that definitively is the best improvement right now. There's been so many in just the last week and a half that have completely changed the way that I'm doing everything, If I didn't have this desk, I wouldn't be able to do any of the things I'm doing right now at all. I wouldn't have been able to have the monitors, the mic change. None of it would have been possible without the desk. So I think it's all just works together, okay? It's all just a collective thing together. So, yeah. Weird questions. I'm ignoring some of these. What's up, Satan? How you doing, man? What's up, Chris? Good morning. Good to see you, Chris. Do we hear the voice changer again? Oh, by the way, Soul at 2 a.m. I'm sorry I didn't shout this out. Thanks for $5. He says, I hope Lick Joe from Violence Fight makes a cameo appearance. There you go. A crappy random character from a random fighting game that's not Street Fighter, but was a ripoff of Street Fighter for sure from back in the day. What's up, King Michael? How you doing, man? Am I playing Yakuza Kiwami 3 next year? I have no idea. Really, I'm not thinking about next year. I'm thinking one of the things that we may do during the Christmas marathon is go through the game release schedule for 2026 and actually make a new schedule. I haven't had a schedule for months. I haven't touched a game release schedule for many months. So maybe make one where we have to look at the games coming out and pick the ones that look good. So at least we have like a groundwork for next year. It could be a good thing to do. Yes, I am a fan of eggnog, although I had eggnog earlier this week, and it actually ended up being way too sweet, and now I don't want it for the rest of this year. It was actually way too sweet of a flavor. I would have preferred more like nutmeg or cinnamon flavor, but it was like sugar. Like, oh, it's way too sweet. So I think I might enjoy Black Ops 7 more with surround sound. I might. I don't know. I mean, already I tried it on keyboard mouse on the OLED, and I wasn't sold. It didn't seem much better. Maybe surround sound would make it better, but ultimately I think it's more about you guys, and you guys are telling me you're just bored of it, right? Like, you're just not that interested by the game anymore. So, I mean, I may do another stream of it, just a one-off, but I don't think I'm going to put significant time into it. Maybe we'll just do a one-off to give it a shot and then move on. Okay, anything else, guys? Any other topics or things you'd like to talk about before we jump into our Arc Raiders portion of the stream today? Last chance. I mean, not to say that I won't be talking with you guys and hanging out when we're doing Arc Raiders. It is a very interactive stream in that way, but I'm just curious in general, you know, anything else on your minds today? By the way, how has the music been? Now we're nearing the end of the show. Has the music been good? You know, do you like it? Let me know. All right, I want feedback on this if you like the music during the show today or not. Obviously, some of the tracks are kind of like, but like I said, what we can end up doing is if there's certain tracks we hate, you could thumb them down, and then they're less likely to be in the rotation. If there's tracks we like, we could thumb them up. I could actually make a playlist of favorites. So I could do this stuff, okay? We'll see in the future as I use this more. Some people are saying they love it. They love this music. That's cool. By the way, thank you guys so much for the early support. I mean, we're over $70 of support on just a podcast. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys. I hope you'll stick around for Arc Raiders. I've really been enjoying the game and getting significantly better at it. You know, that last couple of runs that we did were actually really fun. And I'm looking forward to today's stream of improving and learning even more. So I certainly hope that you guys will stick around for it and give it a look. Quite good. There's music, you can't hear it. I need to know if I need to adjust the volume of the music. Is it too low? Let's find the right level right now, okay? A new track's going to play in a second. There it is. Can you guys hear this? Does it sound good, or should I make it louder? Let's get everyone's feedback. It's way too low. It's good low. The music should be up a bit. Okay. How's that? I just got to find the level I need it to be at so I can lock it in and know what to play it at. Okay? That good? Okay. Again, I want to use it, but I want to make sure everyone can hear it. What's the point of having it if you can't hear it, right? So, okay, that's actually, I'm not even kidding, that's 50% for me, like 50% level. So I can know just to do it 50% when I'm podcasting or talking, and then when we're doing the breaks, I'll probably pump it up even higher to like maybe 75%. Okay. Cool. When is the next DSP Tries It? Monday, and it will be Quiznos. I'll be going to Quiznos for the first time ever on DSP Tries It, and the first time in years for myself personally, to see if it's still any good. This is a fascinating restaurant because at one point they had thousands and thousands of locations around the world. They're down to only around 170. They've almost gone completely out of business. So a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't even know Quiznos still existed. You're right, most people don't. But I'm going to try it out. We're going to see what it's all about on Monday. The ambient music makes the show feel more premium and modern, says Warren Peace. Hey, if it does, it does. You know, it's worth it. It's only a few bucks a month to get this subscription. And as of right now, I've had zero issue. You know, yesterday I had this music playing during my content, and it looks like I'm good. As long as I link my YouTube channel to the service, they don't claim music. So I'm good in that regard. I should be totally okay having this in my videos and streams. It's abundantly better. Okay, we'll leave it like this right now. Like, so 50% volume for the music during the podcasting segments or the hangout sessions, and then a little louder when I'm going on the breaks in between. Sure. Okay, cool. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we adjourn, or shall we wrap up? So here's what we're going to do. I'm not here tomorrow. When I come back on Sunday, let's do a big react on Sunday. You guys tell me what games and game trailers were released during the Game Awards, and we'll do a big react show on Sunday morning where I react to all of those trailers and the like all at once, okay? Nicholas says, I just finished your playthrough of that leaf-blowing game. I'm confused at the end. Should I be scared? Maybe. As long as you're okay with our squirrel overlords, then you shouldn't be scared at all. Let's put it that way. Okay? Am I still working out? Yes, I am. I just worked out last night. I hit yet another new record for sit-ups last night. Tony Blue, come 2026, I may look to do a modded game like a Dark Souls run. Not too crazy for that right now. Like, I don't want to think about it now because we're in the midst of many games that we're starting up and or juggling. I'm very excited to see what happens with Expedition 33 this week. But absolutely, I would consider it come next year. We'll take a look at maybe Dark Souls 2 or 3 and do a mod that changes the whole game around. I think that would be cool. Huh? How do I turn it off? What are you talking about? I don't know. I think it's time to end the show. I think we're good. I think we can end the show, and we will come back on Sunday and do a big react show. Does that sound good? I hope so. All right, so everybody, I want to say thank you for a great week. This has been an absolutely outstanding streaming week, okay? And I had a great time, whether it was hanging out with you, playing games, finishing playthroughs, testing new games, or upgrading my setup in the studio. I had an amazing time. I can't wait to do it all again when I get back on Sunday, continuing through the holiday season with all of you. Thank you so very much for your attention, for your support, and I hope to see you soon right here on the next fun edition of the Level 1 Podcast. Thank you all. I will see you soon.